When I was in the hospital with my son Jack, who had a serious illness, I remember that there were many subspecialists involved in his care. And as Anne said, that in many ways can be a good thing, because subspecialists bring their expertise to the care of your child. However, at one point, it became a steady stream of people in and out of the room. I know that I kept a notebook, sort of the way that I cope with stressful situations. I had a notebook and I wrote down, the physician's name or the nurse's name or the child life specialist's name, whomever it was, and then what their role was. And I found that very helpful to me. But I will say that at points on particular days, the stream was so, there were just a lot of people that we did actually speak to the child life specialist and say, would you be able to help us with this? Would you be able to do something? And the idea that she came up with was that we would have an hour in the middle of every day. It was just silence and nobody came in. And also a little sign on the door that said, which I thought was lovely, "Hi, my name is Jack. There are a lot of committed providers involved in my care. If it is not absolutely necessary for you to see me today, can I ask you to defer until tomorrow?" Something like that. And I found that incredibly helpful. And I think it also helped to orient providers, because I think, providers are incredibly committed to helping a child. And if they have an idea or they want to be involved. And I think it was just a way to orient them to what the experience felt like for Jack, but also what the experience felt like for us. It was not that we did not appreciate them. We absolutely did appreciate them, but we needed just a little bit of a break sometimes.
I've worked in the hospital setting for almost 15 years, and a helpful experience for me, I visited as a chaplain a mother and her young child, and I began my visit, and then suddenly there was a knock on the door, and it was in the morning, so it was 9:30 in the morning. It was the rounding team. So it consisted of an attending physician who was the leader of that team, and then a fellow residents, an intern. And so it's many people coming into a small hospital room, and I asked the parent, may I please just sit and wait and we'll continue after rounds? And she said yes. So I sat, and 10 minutes later, rounds were over, and then they left, and almost immediately a physical therapist knocked on the door and came in to do physical therapy. And I said, well, could I just wait with you until this is over? And she said, sure. So 15 minutes later, the physical therapist was finished with her work with the child, and she left. And immediately after, the social worker knocked and entered and started talking with the mother. And I said, I just want to pause and say, I had no idea how busy your life is. I mean, I've been here now for about 45 minutes, and we still haven't finished our initial conversation, and I feel exhausted, and I'm not even a parent. And that was really helpful for me as a caregiver who is part of the hospital staff, who works day after day with families and kids. I had not realized how exhausting it is for them to meet person after person, and all of them were offering valuable information, and yet it is exhausting and fatiguing on both the patient and the family, and I had forgotten how difficult that is.
Mm-hmm.